Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if are you preparing for your next DevOps interview and struggling with tricky questions, so don't worry. In this video, I will be breaking down the top 10 most asked DevOps interview questions with answers that will help you to crack your next job with confidence. Okay, so stay till the end because I have a bonus tip also that most of the candidate miss out on. Which can give you an edge over the other candidates. Okay. So also let me know in the comment section which DevOps tool do you want to master next. Okay, like Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, or AWS. I will create a dedicated content for that also because in this we are having a mix of all these things. Okay, so let's dive in and get you closer to your dream job, your DevOps dream job. Okay, so let's move to the first. The very first question is, what is DevOps? Okay, it is the very basic question basically, but yeah, not that much basic if you are not able to answer it in a correct way. Okay, so basically DevOps is a set of practices, tools, and a cultural philosophy. Okay, that automates and integrates the process of software development. Okay, dev and IT operations, it is the combination of this dev plus ops. Okay, it aims to shorten the software development life cycles while delivering high quality software continuously. Okay, so this is what the exact meaning of DevOps is. If I talk about the key principles, so the key principle of this are like collaboration. It helps to collaborate between dev and ops team. Okay, automation of repetitive tasks, and it helps in continuous integration and deployment, that is CI/CD, and other than that, monitoring and feedback for continuous improvement. So this is the definition that you have to give about DevOps, and then you have to mention the key principle of this. Okay, guys. So like this, you have to mention everything. Let's move forward. The next question: what are the key components of a DevOps pipeline? Okay, so here we will discuss about the key components of the DevOps pipeline. So basically, a DevOps pipeline is a set of automated processes that enables the development, testing, and deployment of software efficiently. Okay, so a DevOps pipeline consists of multiple automated stages that will help in software delivery. Okay, this is the two definition that you can remember. If I talk about the main components, what are the main components that a DevOps pipeline is having? Okay, the very first is source code management, that stands for SCM. In source code management, the things that come are Git, GitHub, and GitLab. Okay, so these example you have to remember. Basically, it stores and tracks the code changes. Then the next thing that we have is the build automation. So build automation basically compiles codes and packages into the artifacts. For example, we can give Maven, Gradle, Bezel. Okay. Then we have the continuous integration. The continuous integration automates the code integration and run the test. Okay. The examples that you can mention is Jenkins, GitHub Actions, GitLab, CI/CD, like this. Okay. Then have automated testing. So in automated testing, we have what we do exactly: run unit integration and functional tests. Example that you can give is Selenium, Playwright, JUnit, and TestNG. Okay. Then we have continuous deployment, that stands for CD. In CD, basically it deploys code automatically to staging or production. And the example that you can give is like Docker, Kubernetes, and code deploy, AWS, like this. After that, we are having monitoring and logging. So monitoring and logging basically helps in track the system health and logs the issue. The example that you can give is Grafana, ELK stack, Datadog. Okay, and the tip that I have mentioned in the very beginning is, why is this important? Okay, so the tip is, each component ensures fast, reliable, and automated software release. So this is the key tip that you have to remember. Moving forward, the third question that we are having is like, what are CI/CD tools and which one have you used? So if in any interview The interviewer has asked you like what is CI/CD tool and which one you are using. So it will differ person to person because everyone is using different tool. So I have just make a common answer for these questions. Okay, so CI/CD tools are basically the automation tools that is used for continuous integration and continuous deployment or delivery. Okay, that is CI/CD to streamline software development, testing, and deployment. Basically, it helps to automate code, integration, testing, and delivery, ensuring the faster and more reliable releases. Okay, this is the thing that you have to mention. Then if I talk about the popular CI/CD tools, then you can mention as like Jenkins, and you can also give some brief description about this. Like Jenkins is an open source automation server with extensive plugins. Okay, then we have GitHub Actions, GitLab CI/CD. So in GitLab CI/CD, what we have built-in pipeline tool for GitLab repositories. In GitHub Actions, integrated CI/CD within GitLab for automation. Then we have Azure DevOps, that is, Microsoft CI/CD solution for cloud and on-premises apps. Then we have Circle CI. Circle CI is cloud-based CI/CD tool which has fast execution. Other than these examples, you can also remember few of the example that I am mentioning, like Travis CI, AWS code pipelines, Bitbucket pipelines, Bamboo, and AgroCD. These are the examples that you can remember. Okay, now like we will see the example like when you have to mention like this is just a general question, you have to answer it according to your experience, but I am giving just a hint. Okay, like I have used Jenkins to automate builds and deployments, integrating it with GitLab for source control and Selenium for test automation. So this is just a dummy answer. Okay, or else if you want to answer something, then you can also mention like this. Basically, I have an experience with Jenkins, which I have used for automating playwright test executions and pipelines. Then I have used GitHub Actions, in which configured workflow for the test automation and deployment. Then I have used the GitLab CI/CD in integrated testing and deployment in GitLab repositories. Like this, you can mention in your resume, in your interview. Okay. Moving further, we are having the next question. How do you ensure high availability and scalability in our DevOps environment? Okay, so in this, what you have to mention, like how you are ensuring these things, like high availability and scalability. So, ensuring high availability and scalability in DevOps environment requires a combination of architecture, automation, and monitoring strategies. Okay, so it is a mixture. So that like we high availability and scalability, what it do actually, it ensure that the applications remain accessible and perform well under various loads. Okay, so this is the thing. The strategies that we can follow is like we have load balancing, auto scaling, microservices architecture, multi-region deployments. These are the things that we are having. Apart from that, we are having one more thing, that is infrastructure as a code, IAC. So this thing you can mention. Other than that, CI/CD with zero downtime deployment. This thing you can mention. Security and access control. This thing you can mention. Containerization and Docker containers. This thing you can mention. So let's discuss the very general things, that is load balancing. Basically, load balancing, what it do, it just distributes the traffic across multiple servers using AWS ELB and HA proxy or Cloudflare load balancer. Like this you can mention. Then we have auto scaling. Auto scaling implements horizontal scaling, adding more instances, and vertical scaling that helps in increasing the resources. We can use Kubernetes K8s, then horizontal pods, autoscaler, or AWS auto scaling groups. Like this, we can mention. Then we have the microservices architecture. This we can use. In this, we can mention like we will break apps into smaller services. Okay. Then we have multi-region deployment. In multi-region deployment, what we do, deploy in multiple cloud regions, zones to avoid the downtime basically. So this is the thing. We deploy the things into multiple data centers. So the example, in a Kubernetes cluster, I set up horizontal pod auto scaling to handle high traffics during the peak hours. Like this, you can mention so that interviewer will get an idea like yes, you have worked on these things and you have used it. It means you are having a hands-on experience. Okay, so if you mention this example while giving the answer, it will create a very good image. Okay, let's move forward to the next question. What is infrastructure as a code, IAC, and which tools are used? Okay, so this is the very common concept that everyone who is from DevOps knows this. Okay, so basically what IAC do, infrastructure as code, is the practice of managing and provisioning infrastructures in the sense like servers, networks, and databases. Okay, like this, and using the code instead of manual processes. It enables automation, consistency, scalability, and DevOps environments basically. Then if I talk about is mentioned is allow managing infrastructure, the same thing. Okay, then if I talk about the tools, yeah, you can mention one more thing here, like what are the key benefits of IAC. So in that you can mention like automation, consistency, scalability, version control, faster deployment. Okay, so this is the extra thing that you can add. Then if I talk about the popular tools, so you can mention is Terraform, Ansible, and CloudFormation. These things you can mention. Basically, if I talk about the other than that you can also mention like Chef, Puppet, and Azure Resource Manager. These things also you can mention. So what these things do? It manages infrastructure across cloud providers. Ansible automates configuration management, and CloudFormation AWS specific IAC tool. Okay. Now here is the thing come. You can mention one more thing at the end of your answer, like that. I use Terraform to provision AWS EC2 instance and S3 buckets automatically. Like this, you can mention. If you mention this thing again, it will create an image like, yeah, you have used this thing. That's why you know this much. Okay. Moving further, how do you handle security in DevOps? So you have to give the answer like a very straightforward way, because in this you can answer like this. Security is integrated into DevOps as a DevSecOps to prevent vulnerabilities. Okay. If I talk about the key security practices, that is secret management, static and dynamic code analysis, access control, and container security, like this. And the brief description you can give like secret management, what it do, it stores credentials securely. Okay, static and dynamic code analysis, what it will do, scan for the security flaws. And same for access control, you can mention like it implements least privileges policies, like this. Okay, the example again you have to mention it like this. Yeah, basically like when interview asks this question, yeah, you can answer like this. Once you give this thing, you can mention, yeah, basically we have used in our project, like I have implemented sonar cube in our CI/CD pipeline to detect security flaws before deployment. Like this, if you mention this thing at the end, it will really very beneficial for you. Okay, moving further, we are having, okay, explain containerization and how it differs from virtualization. Okay, so in this you have to remember the things like that. सबसे पहले like feature according to feature, containers, dockers, and virtual machines, VMs. Okay, boot time, like it takes in seconds and VMs take in minutes. Resources uses, lightweighted होगा docker, while VMs are heavy. Isolation, shared OS kernels, while in virtual machine full OS for each VM. Probability is high, and in virtual machines lower than the containers. These difference you can remember just as a keyword, but you have to frame it in a proper sentence. I am not framing because otherwise this video will be longer. So these things you have to remember as the keywords, and then you have to frame according to the sentence. Moving further, what is Kubernetes and how does it works? Basically, Kubernetes is an open source container orchestration platform that automates containers, deployment, scaling, and management basically. Okay, and if I talk about the key components of the Kubernetes, so the pods. Basically, the pod is the smallest deployable unit in the Kubernetes. Even interview can ask you very general question like, could you please tell me what is pods? So it is not like that always they will ask about what is Kubernetes. They can ask anything about the components also. They can ask you to explain the components in a brief. Okay, Then we have deployments. It manages the pod updates. Okay. Then we have the services. Basically, what services do: expose the application within and outside the cluster. Then we have ingress. It manages the external access like a load balancer. Okay. And again, it's like that. What example you have to mention at the end? You can mention. Yeah, I have used in our project, like what I have did, I have configured Kubernetes deployments with rolling updates to ensure zero downtime. Sorry. Okay, like this you have to mention. Okay, let's move further. uh, how do you monitor and log in a DevOps setup? Okay, this you have to mention. Like monitoring and logging helps to detect failures, performance issue, and security threats. Okay, this is the definition, basic definition that you have given. After that, you have to mention the thing like what are the tools. Okay, like we can give Grafana, ELK stack, AWS CloudWatch, Datadog. Like this you can give the example, and like some details you can mention. I'm not mentioning because this video is taking much time. Then you can mention example, like I have used Grafana to track CPU and memory uses for Kubernetes pods. Like this, you can mention the things. Okay. Uh, the last slide, but not the least, because in this I have mentioned the question, which is really very important. Okay. And I think in almost every interview, the people will ask this question, like describe a real world scenario, like challenge that you have faced and how you solved it. So this is the thing where most of the candidates won't able to answer it properly. Okay, so this is just a dummy answer. Okay, you can give any answer that you have faced in your real world. Okay, but I have prepared just a dummy problem just to tell you. So here, like I have mentioned is the problem that I have faced is Jenkins build failures due to inconsistent environment settings. Okay, then what solution did I use? I used the Dockers to create consistent build environments. Then second step that I have used is to implement parallel builds to improve CI speed, and then setting up monitoring alerts for failed builds. Okay, like this you have to answer. Then for example answer, to resolve build failures, I implemented Docker based Jenkins pipelines which eliminated the environment in inconsistencies and reduced build time by 40%. Okay, so this is the thing that you have to mention. You can modify this answer as per your experience. Okay, so yeah, I hope you guys got something knowledgeable from this video, and if yes, then hit the like button, subscribe my channel, and share with your friends who are preparing for the DevOps interview. And yeah, stay updated for the next parts in which I'm going to discuss the specific interview questions from the different topics. This is the very generalized questions. Okay, so okay, then stay tuned. मिलते हैं next video में, तब तक के लिए bye bye.